Cuomo here. To cease or not to cease? That is still the question. The answer is getting more troubling by the hour. America has very little upside to this Iran operation lasting. Not so true for the regime, and definitely not the case for Israel. Keep in mind, this is not a real ceasefire. There's no public document, there's no written framework, nothing's been signed, nothing's been officially agreed to. And again, America seems to be the only willing partner. And again, that's likely because we have the most to lose and the least to gain. Israel is continuing to strike Lebanon, despite the deal apparently including hostilities in that country were supposed to stop. And the president saying he told Bibi to go low-key. Does this look low-key to you? Netanyahu is adamant there is no ceasefire with Hezbollah. And this is a big problem. Iran's president posted that Israel attacking Lebanon is making negotiations meaningless, and Iran's finger is on the trigger. Now, trigger of what? There's a presumption informed by the IDF and the U.S. military that the regime has suffered massive setbacks in weapons and assets. But when it comes to the war of words, the regime, however decimated Trump and his people say they are, is proving formidable in the war of words and seems to be driving how any talks are going to go. And they're using their leverage. They continue to block traffic through the strait, demanding the president stop Israel in Lebanon or else. And so far, Trump's only move has been to complain, calling out the regime for not keeping their word. Shock. Calling it dishonorable. Dishonorable. The president knows he's dealing with soulless, zealot terrorists who believe God wants them to kill all of us, right? Given how turbulent the waters are, is our country best represented in any negotiations that happen this weekend by J.D. Vance, who's never negotiated anything like this ever? He'll be joined by Trump's real estate pal and his capital-chasing son-in-law. And now, there's a new front in the war of words. The president is now taking incoming from his wife, who has inexplicably brought Epstein back into the spotlight. Apparently, the First Lady decided to hold a presser to distance herself from Epstein without telling the White House, which is almost impossible to believe because they cannot be happy that she said this.
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors.
After the speech, the president told a reporter he didn't know anything about it. Maybe that's because she supports giving the survivors a hearing, and said nothing to defend her husband's involvement. My question is, why now? Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to more disclosure and Epstein getting back into the spotlight so we can get to the bottom of how this administration can find ways to arrest and investigate the free press, but no one involved with a notorious human trafficking operation gets any scrutiny. Still, if you look at this, it is weird, even for Trump world. No one's demanding that Melania Trump make any statements about Epstein. She has not been subpoenaed. There is no real talk of that. There was no recent news about her and Epstein that she needed to respond to. It does make you wonder, could there be anything to the social media stink that the First Lady is trying to sabotage the president when he is at his weakest? I don't know, but it is something we have to deal with, okay? What we just saw with the First Lady is an example of how the messaging, the war of words, is not going this White House's way right now. I can't tell you how many people have asked me today if their kids are going to get drafted. Why? Because of what Hegseth was saying. Headlines saying today that young men between the ages of 18 and 25 are going to be automatically registered for the military draft pool starting in December. Now, look, I think this is a little bit of a controversy, and I'll tell you why. I think it's been handled poorly. I think they messaged it to make it seem provocative, but this is just switching the burden, and I'll tell you why I'm making this point. So right now is you are required, my son is required once he turned 18 to register with selective service. Jimmy Carter brought this back into play in 1980, and it started obviously after Vietnam. That's different than a draft. We don't have a draft. The administration can't unilaterally enact a draft. It has to be via a law from Congress. So there is no draft. But I like the burden shifting. That is my argument about voter ID. You want all of us to have an ID, fine. Do not put the burden on people to register. Now, the reaction to that was, no, people should do it. Well, people are required to do this too. They're shifting the burden to the administration to figure out who is eligible for selective service and to sign them up automatically. Why can't you do the same thing with a voter ID? Because in this case, you want more people signed up. That's the goal of this selective service move. That's why they're shifting the burden. You do not want more people. You want fewer people to sign up with voter ID. That's why you're putting the burden on them. See what I'm talking about? Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.